What's up everybody, another beautiful day in the Dragon Isles, and today we're taking a look at Mythic Tindral, the Dragonriding boss. Now I'll be going over all the new mechanics, what has changed from heroic and potential approaches. I will not cover all the heroic mechanics. If you want to know about that, I have heroic guides out for all the bosses. Keep in mind that this is PTR, so things can change or be reworked completely. For Mythic, there's been a lot of additions and changes to this fight. Different ability timer causing nastier overlaps, as well as Dragonriding in Phase 1. For the mass entanglement roots. If a player breaks these with something like Blessing of Freedom or Immune, the root will branch out and become a scorched tree ant that AoEs the entire raid, meaning any strat with root breaking involved is most likely dead and gone for Mythic. At least most of it. Rip, there goes my plan of bringing 10 paladins. Now on top of this, these roots will overlap with things like Fiery Growth that spawns fire when it expires, which will kill everyone near him in the roots. But they can also overlap with sunbeams and things like that, so you really need to break him fast. Now to aid you with this-ish, the boss will now go owl form, dropping feathers and spawning flare bombs throughout phase 1, 2, and 3. Flare bombs will fall from the sky, each dealing lethal damage to the raid if they reach the ground. So 4 players will need to pick up these feathers and fly into the flare bomb. They take a bit of damage and 1000% increased damage from flare bombs for a minute, so you can only do 1 per flight cycle. However, this also empowers the players so that when they land, they deal an insane amount of damage to boss and roots within 10 yards of where they land. So you will use this to help clear roots faster, not on every set of roots, but some. So to help with this, which greatly depends on tuning, we had 4 marks, could possibly use only 3, and split the raid between these marks. The roots only do damage in 1.5 yard radius around players when they spawn, enabling you to have the marks extremely close, near boss, and you'll be able to hit all of the roots, plus the boss with the flare dive bomb. Now if the roots are tuned extremely tight as far as HP goes, you might need to have 1 or 3 players with Fiery Growth get their roots dispelled with Freedom or Tiger's Lust so they can run out and get dispelled. Now on Mythic, when these expire, the entire raid takes damage and takes 2000% increased damage from this for 2 seconds, so you need to dispel these staggered. Rip mash dispel. And of course, if you Freedom a root, you will spawn an ad. But a 1, 2, 3 ad seems manageable, pending tuning. However, these Fiery Growth will always target ranged DPS first. If there aren't any ranged DPS on the ground, they will target healers, then melee. If you only have 3 ranged down on the ground, and the other are up swirling in the sky, those 3 ranged will be the players who get the Fiery Growth. So if they don't fix that, you will be able to bait the Fiery Growth, kinda ruining the entire mechanic. That being said, you could also see a strat revolving around spawning extra adds from roots so they can funnel damage into boss, depending on how tight the healing is. So on Mythic, bosses brought additional wild shrooms. This time, both the tanks will need to take shrooms at the same time. So 1 blazing, 1 poisonous shroom will spawn, so 1 tank noms the fire and the other takes poison. And then you reverse it. Now during the intermission, you will be facing a swarm of fiery orbs, instead of just a few swirling around. Sadly, I did not personally get to test this. The boss was rather rough, but I've seen some footage and the dream essences are completely covered with fiery orbs. But otherwise it hasn't changed from heroic as far as how it works. There is just fire everywhere. Now for the intermission burn, the raid will take ever increasing damage as long as the absorb is up, and then it explodes after 20 seconds, killing the raid. So again, it hasn't really changed, but has for sure gotten a lot beefier. And boss will cast his supernova in phase 3 as well, which means you will require an insane amount of healing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this first look of Tindral on Mythic. Let me know what y'all think of this fight, and if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments. You can also become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Discord, where you can get help with anything raiding or enhancement related. You can also get shoutouts in videos, a virtual high five, among other things. Don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and slap that notification bell. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.